I've made up my mind. When we take off, we got to get like a nice apartment that only we record out of. Like me and you. Like this is where we record. The shit gonna be fire.
I like the way you already proposing an apartment uptown. Is that gonna be your excuse?
Oh,
like
wow.
I'm working. I'm working.
Oh wow.
I'm working.
Wow. Hey man, yeah.
You're not gonna use you're gonna use the excuse like Jeremy Pargo's wife told him that he got locked into the club by the fire marshal and that's why he ain't come home.
What's the wildest excuse you gave when you was cheating or didn't come home?
Dude, I'm always gonna come home. I'm always gonna come home. like, nah, it's no excuse for not coming home. You don't cheat on holidays, birthdays, anybody's birthday, anybody's holiday. You don't cheat on any of those days.
Okay.
And you always come home. And you always gotta come home before 6 o'clock.
Ooh.
You always gotta come home before 6 o'clock, man. You got to.
I use your brother.
I remember one of my homeboys, man, his girl called.
Oh god.
She was just like, it's a very random story. Y'all not gonna figure this out. Anyway, we all went out one night. We ended up seeing like somebody that he had knew, right? So like he's kicked with in the past. So we ended up all like going over to like her place. Like this when I was young, so we drinking, we smoking. Yeah. And then at the end of the night, it's probably like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, right? So like one of my homeboys had peeled off. So at the end of the night, it was just like me, him, her, one of her friends, and then like I wasn't really feeling the friends, so I was just like, all right, I'm about to bounce. It was probably like 4 o'clock in the morning, right? So it's already late. So like next day, do not hear from him because I don't think to check on him, right?
Yeah.
So like, yo, man, his wife called me. She is pissed off. She is hot. She's like, what time did y'all leave?
Oh my God.
Such and such place. And I'm like, damn, man, I left at like 4:30. So I was like, and she was looking for an answer, right? Me not giving an answer was not going to do. So Mike. I was just like, all right, man, I'm going to just throw 2 hours on the time that I left. I was just like, man, we left like 6:30. Yo, this nigga got home at like 7, bruh. Yo. He got home at like 7, man. So I called him. I like, yo, dude. He didn't even pick up. I was like, yo, man, I gave you 2 hours. So if it's anything beyond that, you're going to have to figure it out.
Man, I hate being put in the position to cover for your boy when he do fuck shit.
This is 2 decades ago, by the way. This is not recent.
Yeah, I didn't even know Mike then.
Yeah.
He knew me, but I didn't know him. But it's like, I hate it. I always said, I'm not going to jail for nobody except for my wife. And I'm not, that's just because she make more money than me and she got a corporate job. So I got to take the L.
Yeah.
Go sit down.
Yeah, you got to hold it.
Yes. But I always told my boys, like, look, I'm never going to snitch, but you should never put me in a position to answer for any dirt that you do.
Give me a heads up, bro.
Yeah, like, yo, this is a story, stick to this. Or, cause I'm going to tell you, like, yo, I just won't answer the phone.
Yeah, give me a heads up, man. Like, just give me a heads up, man. Just be like, yo, dude.
Yeah. When I was cheating, man, I said, your brother needed me. In Greensboro.
But and mind you, that story wasn't me cheating. That was actually one of my boys cheat because I actually don't cheat.
Yeah, I don't cheat either. But yeah, at that point in time, I said, Ez need me in Greensboro. And she goes, what? He lives in Columbia. I said, I don't know why he's in Greensboro, but I'm going up there to check on him.
Yeah, you got to go check on him.
Shout out to Beep. I love you. All right, man, let's start this pod. But yeah, the girls are fighting. I love when the baddies fight, man. Especially because, like I told you off mic,
they fighting for their life, bro.
They are, but the thing that got me like weak about everything is the dude who is caught up in the mix. This nigga got good taste. Like all the girls,
dude. If you got some money, you should have good taste.
Well, I want to know where everybody getting all this money from because, like I told me and the community, we're in our DMs discussing this whole thing. We breaking it down. I'm like, yo, how much money do bruh got? Because he at the Super Bowl.
Dude, he at the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Like what partying, you do for a living?
He got a bunch of baddies.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he clearly a drug dealer, but I mean,
no, he don't have to be a drug dealer. He could be a doctor.
He don't dress like one.
He could be a doctor. I mean, this might be a regular doctor.
And these girls, and he ain't got no kids yet. That let me know the other thing. You ain't no doctor.
Yeah, he might have 6 practices, bro.
Yo, all right. I love Mike shooting bail for black men.
You know what I'm gonna do?
Look, because this nigga is a drug dealer. I don't care what none of y'all say.
I'm gonna shoot bail, man.
Look, he is a drug dealer. All right, here go my favorite. I hate to do this to my baby, but I got to do it, man. Here we go.
If you're making $50,000, don't date. I'm just being for real. You're not ready to date.
Again, I'm with you.
You're not ready to date. You're not ready to date because courtship costs.
Okay.
Everything costs. You can go for 22 walks in the park. Eventually, shorty is gonna need a sip of something. She gonna be thirsty. This bottle of water is $3 in Atlanta. Let's not play. So if you don't have any expendable cash, don't date. And whatever that looks like for you, you might only make $50,000, but you live in a shoe, and now you got expendable cash. Or get you a bottom of the barrel bitch that's gonna date you when you have no money. If she doesn't have the expectation, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, enjoy it while it lasts, because
she said she ain't got no expectation.
Because she doesn't stretch you, she doesn't make you the man that you need to become. She allows you to be this stagnant dude in the same jeans for days. You know what I'm saying?
Be cutting up.
I'm
you
just
talk about
saying.
me.
So,
This is a terrible take. From start to finish.
Is it?
It really is. It's a terrible. Okay. It's a terrible take.
Is it a bad take?
All right. Here's the thing, right? So if we're talking about women being boss, they, as they say, boss bitches, right? I don't use that word, but they said boss bitches, right?
I love when they say that.
So if that's what women are to be, where does your equity, equality, and inclusion come from, right? Because if you making the same amount or more than the men, right? So are we? And whoever this coach is or whatever, she's a hypergamy something coach. Or
yeah.
That's what she teaches, right? But if women get to a point where women are making $200,000 a year, who they're going to date? Like you're in the 0.5% of men, right? And not only that, like this coach is like I did a little dive on it because I actually listened to Poor Minds.
Yeah.
So it started playing when I went on my walk yesterday, and I got 3 minutes in, I had to turn it off.
Hey, come on, man! Don't do that to my girl.
No, because because the things that she said at the very beginning of that pod, like find a rich dude, take his money, start your own business, like it was terrible. It was terrible. So I was just like, man, all right, I gotta go see who this is, right? And then I do a little deep dive. She did what's called sugaring.
Okay.
So you know what sugaring is, right? Basically prostituting.
Yeah.
So that's what she
Sugar
did,
daddy.
right? So it's like, man, it's like, yo, women really keep women single. Like it's completely off base.
What's my favorite line? Women what?
Women hate women.
Like,
right? But it's like it was completely off base. Like
you think so?
If you are a boss chick and if you like it, first off, let me be clear. If women have money and they like you, they will spend money on you.
That's fair.
Women will spend money on you. So if a woman has money, bro, like she's not holding the guy that she is visually attracted to. She's not holding him to the same standards that she's trying to tell everybody else. These are the standards that I'm holding somebody to.
All right, here we go. First disagreement. We telling the truth this podcast?
Yeah, we're telling the truth.
All right, man. I like when we tell the truth, but sometimes I gotta ask because sometimes I'm willing to lie. Did I think it was a bad take? Nah. I feel like I didn't feel like it was a bad take because I do believe that, if, certain people shouldn't be dating because they just can't afford to. But I do think that comes to a point of, what type of dates are you trying to take? When I was making $8 an hour as a server, you know what I'm saying? And I was a server assistant. So let's be clear. Because y'all gonna be like, servers make $2. But I was making $8. I wasn't going to Capitol Grill.
Well, no.
I wasn't even going to Roof Chris. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So I had to date within my means. I dated women within my means. So I get that
But
part.
if there's women at whenever that was in your life, right? So I'm assuming you was between
20.
18 and 19. Okay.
18 to 20, yeah.
So at 20 years old, what 20-year-old woman is used to Roof Chris? Is used to,
the top
Capitol
10%.
Grill, right?
Yeah. So
the baddies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So again, it's
10%.
like 10%. Yeah, if that, right? Maybe less than that.
Absolutely.
So none of the women in that bracket is used to that. But now because of Instagram, all women think that this is what I deserve. This is what I should have. Everybody thinks she's a baddie. The young lady that's speaking, if you go listen to that first 10 minutes, she's like, look at me.
Well,
right?
let's get there. Because they lit your ass up. And I don't think it's fair.
I don't mind.
Let me tell you why I don't mind. Yeah. Because I've said this, and this is not to Poor Minds. This is to what happens. How do I get popping on the internet? We always come back to this. And what ends up happening is you get the women that don't have on makeup, that's overweight, hair not done, that's looking a mess, and they take one segment of them saying something that's quote unquote ridiculous, and the internet just heats it and it's gone, right? So the first thing the comments was doing was like, yo, your BMI ratio don't match. Like, how you got these takes? And the joke was, she said, yo, I just got a BBL, so I gained 40 pounds because I couldn't work out. And they tore her ass up even more about that. And I was just like, yo, what have we gotten to? And then, the other part of it is, dog, I met my wife when I was, for sakes and purposes, like 24, 25. I married her at 30. And when I bought my crib, when I started dating my wife, I was making $16 an hour.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that my wife saw the future.
Yeah. She see beyond. But again, right, that's a woman that's interested in you.
Yeah.
Right?
She saw what I could be and said, I'm going to give this dude a chance.
Yeah.
Now, granted, my wife was making less, and then she quickly started making more, but it was still like, I'm going to give you a chance, because I would hate to be a brother, and we're going to talk about one at the end of this podcast, so stay through it. Trying to go out here and date these chicks, and you gotta just like, I gotta make it. But that ain't even the conversation I want to have, because Poor Minds said this gonna break the internet. Poor Minds, you let us down.
Here's the thing. They played that clip because they shot old girl Belle. Right? If they make more clips, and they haven't, because I actually went and followed them after this shit on Twitter, because Twitter's where everything gets off.
Oh, it goes down.
So I went and followed them. They have not reposted, but I promise you, if you listen to the first 3 minutes of their show, hate to plug another pod on our pod, but if you go listen to the first 3 minutes of that show, if you can make it that far, like, old girl goes in on men, bro.
Oh, I believe it. But if y'all wanted to break the internet, the better question is, what should your salary requirement be to have kids? Because if y'all think that y'all shouldn't be dating at 50 grand,
nobody gonna date.
Well, no, scratch that. How much should you be? How much money do you need to be making to have a child?
Bro, I don't know if any amount is enough. My my best friend, her and her husband, they have a newborn right now, and they are millionaires. And they are fucking struggling.
Oh, I believe it. Like,
they are struggling.
Because if I come out today and say, hey, I think you shouldn't have a kid if you make less than 75 grand, we know what time it is.
Yeah, they are struggling. So I don't know if there's a the right number.
For me, I believe there should be like an unlock button for semen, and your eggs should not be able to be fertilized if you don't make. Like, literally, bro, like, if we keeping it real, your household can't be making less than like $100K if you want to have kids.
Yeah,
like, it's just real. It's sad.
It's going to cost some money, for one, and for two, you need to do it in a marriage, right? You need to do it in a 2-parent home, because when I walked in, I was on the phone with her, and she was just telling me that her sister was in town, and she was like, Thursday night they end up having they had like their first full night sleep. Like, they fell asleep watching the news, and then they woke up at like 8 the next day, like, oh my God, like, we got a full night sleep. And then her sister that kept the kid, she was like, on Friday night, the sister was like, all right, now I got to get some sleep, so y'all gonna have to watch y'all kid, right? Yeah. And it's like, imagine trying to do that on your own. And me and her, we was having that conversation of, like, how many times do you see one parent, typically the mother, is trying to handle this all on her own. I was like, y'all are struggling. It says 3 of y'all, and everybody's talking about they need some sleep, over the weekend. Imagine when it's just one parent, right? Imagine how tired that person is. So when it comes to salary requirements, I think salary plays a part, but I also think it's 2 people at the same time. Because imagine if you don't make enough money and you tired.
Bro, think about it like this. The average daycare in this country is like $1,200 a month. So you are already talking about whatever you think.
Newborn is $1,800.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I don't know what the requirement. I think the household needs to be 100. I really think if you separate it, like, if Shorty's saying 50 grand a date, then I don't think it's outrageous for me to say, you need to be making 75 to have a kid, because you got to think after taxes is whatever. Then after we get there, we're talking about a third of your salary is going to daycare. We talking about, you gotta, when you have a newborn, you going through at minimum 12 diapers a day. Yeah. It's only 36 in that damn pack. Or if you got the big pack, it's 60. So you talking about every 3 days you buying a pack of diapers, or every week you buying another pack of diapers, and they $50.
It's funny though. We're jumping to the kid because we recklessly keep having these kids out of wedlock. Yeah. And here's the thing, right? The question is, what should you make to date? And we already like, y'all so bad at not having babies that we like, let's talk about the kids so y'all can understand what it costs to date. Because how many times have we seen these relationships, women are discussing like, how much a man need to spend to, for them to like them. And then they end up having a baby with a dude that they don't like or the guy don't like them.
And he broke.
And, you know, especially broke for a kid.
Yeah.
Then he gets hit over the head because she needs help.
Yeah.
So now he's paying $800 or $1,500 a month in child support for a kid. Hey,
It's
man.
wild. Y'all have fun with that because I ain't doing it. I want to welcome everybody to the Black Dads Club. This is episode 128. We are moving. We're taking strides, man. I want to ask everybody, please go like, subscribe, follow, send this to your ex, send this to your baby daddy, send this to your mother-in-law who gets on your nerves. Whatever it takes. Please, whatever it takes. My co-host is in good spirits despite this past weekend.
Man.
And we going to get to that later in the sports segment. However, we got to have our second debater today, Usher in the Super Bowl. Usher came up there and he was a halftime show. If you don't know, because you was not a part of the 125 million people who watched the Super Bowl. Usher performed. It was in Vegas. Usher has a residency there for at least 2 years, maybe 3 years. Yeah. And this was probably the biggest weekend of Usher's career. What's your take? Because I want you to bring what you brought to the group chat here. What do you feel?
I felt that it was a good show, but it started slow. I feel that once he brought out, you know, Little John and everybody, I think that part of the show was that SZA that came out or Summer Walker. I get them confused.
No, that was her.
I get them all confused. Anyway, I think that part of the show has actually had the energy. But the first part of the show, I think it was mid. I'm not even gonna lie. I gave it on an Olympic scale.
Olympic scale.
He'd get a 7.5. Is what I give the show. It is not in my legendary, like, they started doing Super Bowl shows, in the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like 40 Super Bowl shows in. Yeah, it doesn't crack my top 5. It doesn't.
Do it crack my top 5? I'm not for sure. And I'm talking about my black top 5. I'm not doing the YouTube. I ain't doing the Bruce.
I don't like, and I'm including those, right? Bruce, I think Bruce did a good job. Didn't really like it. Yeah. I did put Lady Gaga's in my top 5. Lady Gaga put on a hell of a show.
It was all right.
Yeah, she put on a hell of a show, man.
It was all right.
Yeah, no, Lady Gaga put on a hell of a show.
What's your top 5? Let's go through your top 5.
My top 5 is Prince number 1.
Okay.
Bruno Mars number 2. Michael Jackson number 3. Beyonce and Lady Gaga is like right there.
You are a liar.
You crazy. It's no way that there's any shows bigger than that.
Bruno shit not even in the top 5.
You're insane.
With Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, you're insane.
When they did a salute to the troops.
I mean, symbolic violence never is going to impress me. That's not why I'm putting it up there.
So what was it? Because he only did his three hits.
Dude, like the melody between him and Red Hot Chili Peppers is what made it. Because it all flowed all the way through. And Bruno was an entertainer, bro. Like,
He's an entertainer.
Dude, it's a halftime Super Bowl show, Gavin. It's not a talent show. It's an entertainment show. So Bruno singing and dancing his singing and dancing was better than Usher singing and dancing, if we're being honest.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, yes, it was.
No,
yes, it was.
We're talking about Bruno Mars, who did Treasure. That's all he gave y'all was Treasure.
Yeah, no, Bruno Mars.
He gave us Treasure, and he let Red Hot Chili Peppers, who, if you even go read any review about that, they talk about how the mashup did not work. Because it was on two different ends of the spectrum. We went to a rock show in the middle of Bruno Mars singing Treasure to us.
I think that's what made it hot, and that's what made it fun.
No,
Bruno
Beyonce
Mars
shit is way better than Bruno shit, and it's not close.
I don't think so.
No. That's because you have a problem with women doing anything great. Like
Gavin calling him misogynist.
Absolutely, because that's what that is. You got Beyonce tied with Lady Gaga, which is a joke.
That doesn't fit with your narrative that I don't want women doing anything great, especially how hard I go against anyone that's not black. So me saying it like, I think both of them did a really good job. That kind of goes against what you just said.
You got Beyonce, Bruno Mars, and Coldplay's performance is better than Bruno's performance with Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I disagree.
And that's when you got the Bruno Mars, and he got the tape, the new tape, one where he did the old school. That's when you get Bruno Mars going into his next album. That's when you got Beyonce on her historical black shit. That's when you got but that wasn't. That was better than Bruno and Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah, that one was better. That was Bruno's best performance. It wasn't that shit that you talking about. And so that's what Beyonce smoked her shit with Destiny Child. I'm talking about smoked. Smoke.
Again, it's in my top 5. I said it's not number 1. Prince number 1.
Yeah, that's because it only rained. Y'all old heads got to let that go.
Man, no, see,
shit was fire.
see,
I'm just hating.
Yeah, you definitely hating because what you forget is that Prince wasn't even like go into public back then.
Yeah.
Like it was like people was clamoring like, yo, he took all his music off of every platform. You couldn't find it anywhere. Like, yo, like no.
You know how boss that is?
That is ridiculously boss.
Yeah, Prince is that dude.
So like,
and y'all give Michael Jackson too credit because he was silent for 5 minutes.
Hey man, Mike that dude, bro.
Mike is that dude.
I could bump Beyonce up to number 4. I could do it. No, to number 3. To number 3. I could bump up to number 3. I could bump up to number 3.
Alicia Keys, you owe me an apology.
For what?
You heard how the reason why you mad because when Alicia Keys came in, she was out of key. so out of key, Mike, that the Super Bowl has been uploaded to YouTube. They corrected her vocals.
Yeah.
That is wild to say, yo, we know your shit was so bad. We corrected your vocals now.
That's sort of what Alicia's known for, though.
Being out of key?
If we being honest. Like, she has to get herself in the key. Like, she's one of those singers that have to warm up.
And she can't sing to me.
She has range, but she does have to warm up.
Alicia Keys does not have range. I will fight anybody on that. Brandy got range. Alicia Keys don't got range.
Brandy's one of the most talented, vocalists of all time.
Her and Ray J.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not giving you that. But no, like Brandy, and that's what's crazy, right? Like Brandy's range is, it's like certain singers that have like Audrey Day, the one who started at the beginning. She has amazing fucking range, but she can't break through.
Yeah.
She can't break through.
Well, you know how that go. Alicia Keys owe me for that.
But Alicia Keys fine though.
I mean, she cool. She keep playing y'all with this I don't wear makeup stuff, and y'all keep falling for it. And I'm like, as a photographer, I know when somebody wearing makeup. That is makeup.
She said that I think what she said is like, yo, I'm not caking it up.
Yeah, which I respect.
Yeah.
Also, Alicia Keys has the best PR team of all time. If you ever watching Alicia Keys anything on TV, please go to Twitter, Facebook, or whatever and read the comments. It's nothing but praise. Nothing. Her PR team will drown any bad news about her at any given time. Jermaine Dupri, I don't know what you was wearing. That shit was a mess.
With the church socks.
Absolutely. Looking I thought it was CeeLo at first.
It was giving CeeLo. It was definitely giving CeeLo.
It threw me off. But I do want to ask this. There was the drama about Alicia Keys and Usher all hugged up, especially with both of them being married. Big deal or no deal?
I mean, it's no deal, bro. It's no deal. I mean, because at the end of the day, look, Usher does do too much, right? That's his thing. He does too much, right? So I don't think Alicia Keys playing that. It's just Usher doing too much, man. And I think when you take a photograph of it, it looks worse than what it is in real time.
Yeah.
So now, with that being said, I would definitely tell my woman, do not do anything on stage with Usher because I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna like any man hugged up on my woman. I'm not. That's just me being 100% transparent.
That's fair.
Am I gonna go home and fight about it? No. But are we gonna talk about it before we go see Usher? Absolutely. Hey, stay away from this dude because I'm not gonna be happy. And I'm gonna say, Usher, do not be hugging up on my woman, man.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
But I don't think it was a big deal.
I don't think it was a big deal.
Usher does too much though.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't have made a drink at that point of the show. Even though it's still one of my top. I got Usher's performance in my top 10. I do got Lady Gaga above Usher.
See, I just had to give you all that shit.
I do got Lady Gaga in my shit. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. And I got I might have U2 in mine. Just because I remember what that was like September 11th.
I got to go back. Now I'm going to go back and watch the Bruno with Beyonce. And then I'm going to watch the one with Red Hot Chili. But if you're right, next week I'll come back and say Gavin was right.
My shooting percentage is going up. I want to welcome everybody in. Oh, sorry. We already did that part. Dad tip of the week. Beware of Disney. It is a trap. It is a trap. It is a trap.
It's absolutely a trap. They tell you it's a trap.
They tell you it is the biggest, the greatest tourist trap I've ever witnessed in my life. I went with the crew. We had a great time. Shout out to Ann for making the shirts. Shout out to everybody just holding it down, man. But we went to 4 parks. We realized we didn't see like another 4 parks. So we got to go back for that. Then you got to go back and see what your kid likes. That's a whole nother section. Then you got to go back once your kid is old enough. Then you got to go back without your kid. So it's like, bro, and our tickets was like $500 a piece. It is a trap.
That is insane.
But it was a great time. I will say this though. The food wasn't as expensive as Disney, as you would expect. Like I got a hamburger, fries, and a drink, and it was like $13, so it wasn't crazy.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But I will say this: all the food is trash. None of the food is good, so prepare yourself for that. Last week we kind of touched on it, but we really didn't get to dive deep on Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon Sharpe in this, he's been getting some flack. And it seems like last week you had played a clip. You played it for me off mic, and I was like, "Damn, we should play that," but we just didn't get to it. Judge Mathis came out and said, "Hey, Shannon got to relax. Like everybody got to relax." And he spoke to everybody. He spoke to the field, but we knew what he was talking about. And he said, "Hey, black people got to stop, taking each other down and speaking ill of each other." Which for me, which I told you, and I said on camera, I find interesting because as an avid Judge Mathis viewer, he kicks black people's back in all the time. I think I even said on this podcast, I don't think black women should ever go on Judge Mathis. And black men is kind of like, he gonna leave you alone if you pay your child support, right? But black women is like, yo, if you ever been on drugs, if you ever had a bunch of kids, if you ever messed up in life, unless you just plan on giving your life over to something else, he kicking your back in. It's tough. But what it got me to this idea of why we love mess so much. Because when Steve Harvey made his comments about, oh, I'm in different areas and they don't do this, my joke for them was, well, there's podcasts uplifting black folks. The internet ain't making sure they pop. There's things where every time we come out and we say, yo, you should get married before you have kids, they kick our back in.
Yeah, they definitely kick our back in. So I think as black people, we have this thing where we go harder than everybody else in this country do talking shit, right? Because TMZ exists for a reason, right?
Oh, facts.
Perez Hilton was here before anybody else showed up on the blog scene. So it's like they, you know what I'm saying, white people go in on white people all the time, but it's like when it's us versus us, we treat it like it's something different and nefarious. So I'm not mad. Look, I would rather club, what is Shay? Is it Club Shay? I would rather Club Shay blow up and Vlad go out of business any day. Any day. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if we're going to use our culture to go viral, I'd rather it go to Shannon Sharpe than it go to DJ Vlad, who I, at this point, I think he's sending information direct to the FBI at the end of a show. So
absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at it. I get what Judge Mathis is saying. I myself, I try to hold a standard where I don't really talk about people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try not to kick people backs in.
Oh.
Yeah. I know. I say I try. You know what I'm saying? It happens. But it's like, I try not to make it personal. Like, I'll say, like, yo, fuck Pat Mahomes. I can't stand his Kermit the Frog sounding ass, right?
I like that guy.
I'll say that. But you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't hold any ill will towards Pat Mahomes. Like, I'm not gonna wish, something bad upon him. It's just like, yo, you keep being my fucking team, man. I don't want to be in your damn highlight reel.
Did you hire the bouncer who didn't let his brother go to the section?
Nah, because I like Jackson embarrassing his brother. Yeah, I'm pulling for Jackson now. Like,
my funny part about all this is I love when celebrities don't like when it's their turn.
Yeah.
So we talked about Jay-Z last week at the Grammys and has, now is pulling for sympathy, one that we agree with about Beyonce and how she's not given a seat at this table, even though she's the most decorated Grammy winner, right? Cool. Steve Harvey wants us to, start talking about positive shit after a couple of comedians come up and say, nah, bro, you been grimy for years, for decades, right?
Yeah. You grimy.
Yeah. I listen to Steve Harvey every once in a while. Steve Harvey has never had a problem with kicking black men back in.
No.
Ever. So much so that growing up, it was known that, Steve Harvey is never going to have rappers on the show because he don't like rappers.
Yeah.
It was a big deal when Steve Harvey finally let T.I. come on the show, and T.I. had to button up and code switch so much to be accepted and invited back. So it's like Steve Harvey has always had this. He's always said, hey, let me simp and let me pander to women. And in doing so, I don't mind the simps who don't kick black men's back end on their way to pandering. But it's like, yo, some of y'all go out there. So it's like, yo, it's your turn, bro. Now it's like, yo,
yeah,
we don't want to create a mess.
It's too much. It's too much.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's get to Monique though, because by this time we didn't see more of the show.
Yeah, 11 million views. I love this for Shannon. I love this for Shannon, bro.
Me too. Because I know Skip is somewhere turning red. But not even that, because I'm interested to know. I really want to know the deal that Shannon signed with ESPN. And the reason why I say that is because what's my man? Stephen A. has always said that ESPN get first refusal when he gets to sell the Stephen A. show.
Yeah.
I wonder if Fox, in firing him, they probably, well, if they fired you, they ain't got no hold on anything. I wonder if ESPN present something similar to Shannon. Like, yo, if you ever do sell, we get first refusal, which would be interesting. But I love this for Shannon. But he got called out, man. Monique said, yo, y'all got to stop liking these young girls, which Gavin been saying that forever, but whatever.
Bruh, that's not going to happen. And like,
I know it ain't gonna
y'all got to stop whining and complaining about it. Shannon Sharpe is a 56-year-old, in shape, black man. If he loves women, bruh, he can choose from whatever
30
range
years
of
younger?
women he want. What would that be, 26?
Yeah. What are you doing with a chick 30 years?
So he can't go out with Tiana Trump?
No.
So Tiana Trump is 28.
What you doing there?
He's trying to boink her, bro. What do you mean what he's doing?
Well, you don't have to date her to fuck.
Yeah, I mean, but it would be nice to.
No, it wouldn't.
It's a gentlemanly thing to do.
You don't pay a girl to fuck you. You pay her to leave. That is from Four Brothers. I love that line. That's my favorite line about hoes.
No.
You don't have to pay Tiana Trump to smash.
Yeah, or just anybody that's within that range. Like,
no, you seen Rick Ross complaining, talking about his young girlfriend fucked up hamburger helper. These young girls can't cook. Like, I still ask, and I ask every day in the comments, I'm asking everybody, what is the benefit of dating a chick?
Dude.
What's the benefit of Shannon dating, not trying to smash, dating a chick that's 30 years
Well, I mean, okay,
junior?
so first off, you're excluding the fact that women are never going to say, I'm just getting smashed. Women are always going to say they're dating.
I can't speak for women.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you, right? The fact that we're using the language dating here as loosely as we are is because that's how they see it.
Well, because men don't want to come out and say, "Yo, I'm just trying to smash."
Dudes say that all the time. If
on TV, they don't.
If Rick Ross and his girlfriend, like you, like, what's the benefit? Like, yo, she's hot. That's the benefit. That's what Rick Ross like about Miss Mackey.
Well, you don't have to move her and have kids, cheat on her and have kids with somebody else. Everything you doing, if you just want to sleep with this woman, you don't have to do none of that, because Rick Ross sleeps with plenty of people. He having babies with him.
Yeah,
so
I would agree. I would agree as a man that you should be able to say whatever it is that you want. But when you say, like, what's the benefit? The benefit is the fact that her stomach is flat. All her muscles are showing. Her breasts are nice. Like,
Bernice look better than all these hoes, and she's 20 years older.
No.
Yes, she do.
No.
Yeah, Bernice. Who Bernice don't look better than?
I would say she don't look better than Christina Mackey.
Man,
she don't look better than Lori Harvey.
That's because you like light skinned chicks.
Wow,
that's it.
Hey, see, and you always do the colorism thing.
Absolutely.
And then this is where you want to go. This is where you want to go today. I like women of color. Period. Point blank.
Me and my homegirl had a discussion today about dating. And we had the whole 67, 63 cents. And I was like, yeah, man, y'all love saying women of color so y'all can take off 20 cents of the conversation.
I love
Bernice be shitting on these bitches.
I love women of color.
Hell, Shannon can date Drea. They the same age.
This is true.
See?
This is
nothing
true.
wrong with that. But
he could date Drea.
By my logic, it still don't work because that's 20 years younger.
Yeah, your logic is bad logic, man. Like, because you definitely left George Lucas and Melanie Hobson alone. You definitely left that one alone.
Well, I left it alone because we talking about an 80-year-old white man.
He was that's not when he met. She was 34 when he met.
She was 34, but he was in his 60s.
Yes.
So we talking about a billionaire white man and a woman who's. We talking about 5%. I mean, excuse me, people that's in the top 1%. I'm not never discussing those people because they are, hey, you don't expect Jeff Bezos to say, hey, I'm going to, who has like a couple years on his wife. I'm never expecting him to say, yo, I'm going to go date the chick off of Instagram. But when I look at Rick Ross, who's in the 1%, say, hey, I'm going to go date a chick that's making 19 grand a year. And I'm like, yo, well, why? For what? What do you need to date her for?
She's beautiful.
Because she's fine and I'm cool, but you ain't got to date somebody to sleep with them. I know that.
Look,
he knows that.
I would agree, but everybody like, dude, none of these women, if you're not paying them straight cash out of pocket up front,
Here we go.
None of them are gonna be like, okay, I want to be your secret smash, right? All of them want the clout of I'm with this
and
guy.
so that's why all y'all get in trouble. Not y'all. All y'all get in trouble out there when y'all dating chicks who want to get clout. Like that'd be the hot ass mess.
And I mean, again, it's never going to go anywhere because women enjoy the financial security and if we're being honest, the physical security that they get from being with the older man. That's never going to go away.
These old niggas can't fight.
It's never going to go away. It's more than fighting, right? Because a woman that understands safety understands that like her being able to share things, and not being judged for them. Like that's important to women.
Y'all are terrible at that.
No.
I love when these young girls get out of line, talk back, don't listen, don't show up when they want to. And they talk back. The first thing y'all do is like, yo, you gotta pack up and leave, because that's the first thing y'all old heads do. So that whole protection, you can just open and be vulnerable with me. That is a lie.
No, that's the minority of men. Look, first off, if there's only so much disrespect that anybody's going to take. All right,
the young boys stay around.
Yeah, you can't. No, young boys stay around because they don't really have the ability to branch out and have as many options as older guys. Like the older you get as a guy, until you really start losing your physicality, like your options, they go up every year. Right? The options I had at 25, which were immense, but outside of college. Yeah, I understand. College is going to be the best time of your life.
Facts.
But once you get outside of college, I definitely had more access to women at 35 than I did at 25. And at 25, you never could have got me to understand it. And I think I was married at 35, so I'm obviously talking about post my divorce. I'm not talking about during my marriage. But I'm just saying, like, that age, it's like, so I think that always becomes the problem. And I think when people complain, like Monique's complaining, right? I think it's a self-serving morality, right? Like at the end of the day, I still want to be on the selection plate, and it's hard. It's hard to get drafted when everybody in front of you is better.
Well, Monique is she's happily married. So I don't think, and what we can't start doing is telling women like, yo, in your young 20s, when you're young, you're prettier, you're more in fit, you need to hurry up and get married to a man. And then we start like, hey, judging them when they telling old heads like, yo, y'all should probably do the same thing.
Well, I would agree. I would, but I think men understand that. Men understand age gracefully. And let's be clear, Monique looks better now than she did when she was on the Parkers, right? Yeah. So Monique is actually more attractive now. Yeah, so I'm not saying like, yo, women get older and they're unattractive. I'm not saying that. Bernice is still fine, and Bernice is, she's been on the scene 20 years. Yeah, she done held it in the role better than that's 99%.
That is
Dan Marino right there. So I'm not saying that older women are not attractive. Hell, Larsa Pippen, still a beautiful woman.
All right, man. RIP to that relationship. Yeah, what you think did it?
Her age.
You think nah.
I think it's her age, bro. Dude, he's in his 30s. Like, do he have kids?
I don't think so.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, when you start talking about the emotional labor of trying to find a surrogate, because I think she said that she had frozen her eggs. But either her trying to have a kid, trying to find a surrogate, like that emotional labor, man, no 32-year-old dude is going to just be like, how 32, 33, 34. Yeah. Most men are going to be like, yo, man, I'm not really trying to sign up for that.
Well, you can't be dating an old baddie and both of y'all broke. That's the truth that nobody wants to tell. Yeah. He can't afford her. Nah. Like, because your money that coming from your dad looking at you like, yo, all right, this was funny, but yo, she is a bird. Like it is what it is.
You got to cut it out.
Yeah, you got to cut it out. And it's like, yo, y'all knew what was happening. I did find it disheartening though with Monique. Monique loved the interview.
I'm halfway through. I'm not through it yet.
Yo, tell Sydney to come sit with us. We can sit with him. You ain't even got to. We can talk to Sydney. But I do find it interesting of her kicking Kevin Hart's back in after her telling us that when my family was, in need, he came to our rescue.
Yeah, he cut a check.
I thought that was kind of distasteful to kick him back in.
But so I think Monique does this thing that, and she's from Baltimore. She's not Southern, but if you live in the South, your grandma's really good at this, right? By calling you stupid real nicely. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Monique thinks that if she says, baby and sweetheart, while stabbing you, that you don't recognize you being stabbed. Look, Monique drops a lot of truth, but Monique seems to have a problem with understanding the hierarchy of the business that she's in. Right? She won an Academy Award or whatever award she won, right?
Yeah, Golden Globe.
Yeah. She don't own the Golden Globes or Academy Award. She don't own it. And I think sometimes she missed, because I was listening to the interview, and one of the things she was saying is like, I don't care who's in there when I walk in the room. You could be the studio head, you could be the president. If you're doing me wrong, I'm gonna say something. And everyone is listening right now. Good chance that you either work for somebody or you have a business where your customer is who you work for.
Absolutely.
And all of us understand that you can't just show up any kind of way.
Unless you want to be out of business.
Or
unemployed.
And I think Monique has this unique way of trying to be sweet while not being sweet. And listen to her son talk, and I don't have enough information to talk about that today. We'll probably talk about it next week. Mm-hmm. I think she has a huge problem with accountability. And I think Sydney, her husband, I think she props him to be the masculine man, but when she wants to get it off, I don't think he can stop her.
Nah.
And I think that becomes problematic. I think, look, you walk into a room and the president of a studio head is there. Your job at that point is to listen, because this is the person that decides, is that money going to be spent or not spent? Period, point blank. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how prominent you are. Like, you're going to have to, let me put it like this. People want respect while being disrespectful, and that's not how it works.
Yeah, facts. Sometimes putting your dick on the table don't always work.
No, it rarely works.
And when you do that, you got to be cool with, I'm burning this bridge. Because, one thing I always notice, especially when working in corporate, people like to know what type of person they are dealing with.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we got a loose cannon on board, we rather just go in a different direction where it's easier, cheaper, and whatnot. So, my thing was, I felt for Monique this whole interview, right? Because I'm listening to her tell these stories. I remember being a part of those people who's like, Monique is doing something, doing too much. You know what I'm saying? You believe in Oprah, you believe in Tyler Perry, you believe in, because nobody's working with her.
I don't think she lying. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah.
She's proven herself on how she was telling the truth.
Yeah.
Even so much so that after her interview with the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne came out last week and said, Netflix called us to shit on her name.
Yeah.
And he was like, we were like, what are y'all doing? Like, what? Like, he was like, it's like they knew she was there and said, hey, here goes some made up dirt. And, you know what I'm saying? So it's that. But as you listen to her, you kind of see why niggas didn't want to deal with it.
You do. And that's the thing. It's like, one of the things that I always ask is, what do the win look like, right? Like, what does Monique want? Monique wants to be recognized. She wants to work. She wants to be fairly compensated, right? Mm-hmm. All right, if you could get all those things by being a nicer individual, right? By humbling yourself, right? Yeah, if you could get those things, and then once you get all those things, you could then be like, as on my favorite show, Billions, right? Mm-hmm. He says, I got fuck you money, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, Monique don't have fuck you money yet.
She getting it from Kevin Hart?
Yeah, hell, Kevin Hart don't have it yet, right? Like, it's a small segment of individuals that could be like, I got fuck you money, right? In Hollywood, that might be fucking Brad Pitt and maybe Denzel, right?
Maybe Denzel.
Yeah, maybe Will Smith.
Leonardo.
Like,
Will Smith ain't got it no more.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a small.
Yeah, they the people that have fuck you money, and it's like, you could get there. But you're gonna have to use these studio heads and these, to get there, right? Mm-hmm. You got to use them when you sit here and you like, I want to tell them what to do. That's not the same thing as saying, you know what, I know where I need to get. So, good example of this is fucking Killer Mike. Yeah, Killer Mike could never break through. Killer Mike learned politics. No, there was no label that was going to fund his album. Mm-hmm. He had to fund that album himself. He went out there, he politicked, he started, rubbing arms. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you disagree with a lot of his activism, right? Mm-hmm. And despite all that, he still couldn't get somebody to finance. So he financed the album himself. But boom, now he got his Grammys. Mm-hmm. He just said last week they done went from 20 a show to 120 a show now for all the festivals that's coming up. Right? Mm-hmm. But he had to get to the point, like, he couldn't just be like, everybody's blackballing me. Nobody's letting me through. They don't want me to make music. They don't want me to make good rap music. He had to learn to understand, like, okay, let me figure out what this win gonna look like.
Absolutely.
Look where he's at now.
Absolutely. What's your take on Mike Epps and Shannon Sharpe beefing?
50-year-old dudes talking about they're gonna shoot each other and fight each other is the stupidest shit I've seen on the internet. all 2024 so far.
Your generation, man.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was, and here's the thing, I get it, right? Because I am that type of dude, right? I am the type of like, yo, when I see you type dude.
Yeah.
I would never say that on this pod, man. Like if we had a rival pod and we actually was engaged in a pod war, I would not come on here and be like, "Are you gonna do the gunshot?" I wouldn't, man. But it takes a level of maturity and big shout outs to everybody who got them guys together because they supposed to
meet at
talk
All-Star
and hash it out as men. Now I will say this though, the Mike Epps clip, I knew he wanted to go viral. I know he wanted to sell tickets to his show. I think when you talk,
it was a leak. Somebody recorded.
Well, it was a leak, bro, but you're talking to 200, 300, 400 people.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to get out.
Yeah.
It's going to get out, man. Anytime you're talking on a man's wife or a man's sexuality, I'm always, or a man's kids. Like those things, I'm kind of like, yo, that's beyond the pale.
Yeah, you got to take the
Like,
L.
even if you're a comedian, it's like, yo, man, like, don't do that. Right, there's a lot of things you can talk about. You can talk about how somebody looked. You can talk about the jobs they had. You can talk about an experience y'all had. But we talk about a man's wife, his kids, and his sexuality. Like for me, I think that's off limits.
My dad always say, whenever you about to fight somebody, you got to be willing to go lower than them, and you got to go there first. And you know what throws me off? You know, I would have loved if Shannon would have just told the truth while he was mad. You talking about you got to see Mike Epps because Mike Epps said that you DM'd him when that's not the truth. That's not the real reason why you tight.
No. He definitely tighted everything Mike Epps said.
It's because he said you look like Medea if we put a wig on you. And I think, you know, Corey Holcomb, you coming at Shannon Sharpe's sexuality, bro. It's like you're just trying to get clicks.
You're just trying to get clicks, man.
We know what that is.
Who cares if he is or he isn't?
Well, he's clearly not. But who does care? If he was, but it's like, yo, is that what we doing? Because that's what the chicks do.
We need, like, dude, if Shannon Sharpe's going to interview all the black entertainers, right? Mm-hmm. And we're going to get all those views, that money goes to Shannon Sharpe.
Absolutely.
Bro, I prefer that over DJ. Y'all have never went in on DJ. I don't know if DJ Vlad is married. I don't know if he has kids. I don't know his sexuality because y'all have never went there. But Shannon has been here for like 4 months. And we going in, it's like, yo, that's the stuff that we got to get out of our community. Like,
absolutely.
We got to get that out.
Oh, speaking of shit we got to get out of our community, I love when this happens. I love when a good pod comes together. Hold on.
Threw the keys at you once. That was a bad one.
No, I don't like how you just glossed over that.
What? Or when I almost ran over you with the car. That was bad.
And I have the anger issues?
Yes.
No, for real. We got in a really bad fight, an argument, and I called her out of her name. Childish, and she physically threw keys, and she had a lot of access to a lot of doors.
So he called her childish.
The keys were heavy.
In my face.
No, he called her out her name.
And then we went outside, and
she
wants to go and drive away, and at that point, a car that I was paying for, so I brought that up. I'm not childish at all. That's my car. I pay the bills. And then I stuck my hand in the window to try to get the keys, and she rolled the window up on my arm. And then I got behind the car, Pastor Earl, and she tried to back me over, run me over.
I mean, I was just trying to get him to get out of the way. He wouldn't listen.
Why are we highlighting this shit?
Because I love how everybody is laughing at it and everything that she is doing, which will result in a domestic. I assure you, if this is your typical behavior, at some point you're going to have hands laid on you. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying at some point you cannot roll people's arms in the window, try to hit them, throw stuff at them, and every day and then expect nothing to happen in the future, right?
Yes.
And I love how everybody is laughing at it. And I think it's important to point this out is because we do treat intimate partner violence funny when it happens to men. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
When it happens to women, we take it seriously. We understand, and we should, because if two men get into a fight, if Mike Epps and Shannon Sharpe got into a fight and it lasted for 2 minutes straight, both of them not going to work tomorrow.
Nah, well, Mike Epps to be dead.
Yeah, or a man to be dead. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but both are going to be hurt, right? Because that men understand that when they get into an altercation, that's the level of violence that men go to. Two women can get in a fight. That shit can go on 10 minutes, and they both can go and sing on the stage that night because they don't have that same level of violence.
Monica and Brandy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's important for men to understand. It's like, yo, if you're dealing with a woman or if her friends all think shit like this funny, you know what I'm saying? Like the first time she grabs and throws something at you, if you can't bring her back immediately and be like, hey, that behavior we can't have in this home, right? And she just keep amping it up, and now she gonna run you over, and then y'all think all that's funny. This is a hell no. This is an absolutely no. This is a get the fuck out of here with this attitude. This is get the fuck out of here with everyone thinking that this toxic shit is just okay because a woman is doing it. I don't like this. And that's why we played it, because they're laughing. Like, you would think this shit was on a comedy show. That was like a laugh reel.
You would think based off his reaction, he think it's a comedy show.
Yeah, and it's not.
Like the fact that y'all on a stage, and it clears it's a pastor there, so maybe this is like a church event or something, but it doesn't even matter. The fact that your wife threw something at you, you chased her because you got to be big man and say, yo, that's my car. Cool. All right, bro. You putting your arm in the window. What you think she about to do? Then after you get your arm free, you decide to get behind the car.
Yeah.
Like, and then you here to tell the story, and it's like, damn, bruh, blink twice. If you in trouble.
Like, everybody, like, none of this was funny. Everybody's immature. Everybody is childish. You know, you should not call people out of their names, but also, if you do call somebody out of their name, your reaction should not be immediately physical violence.
No,
right?
Manslaughter.
Like, so there's a lot of it. There's both people needs therapy, and I think the problem is that if it happens to a black man and he's not hurt, it's like, yo, he's cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if he would have got ran over, then what? Right? If he would have broke the window and slit an artery, then what? Right? Then it's like, oh my God, it's tragic, right? But it's like, all right, you know, there's ways that we can prevent these things from happening. And the biggest thing that I hope that we take from it as men is that we just understand it's like, yo, the first time it's happened, it's full stop.
Bro.
Full stop.
One of the most annoying questions I get, besides you didn't marry a black woman, what happened? Besides that, I hate when people present to me, oh, you married a Puerto Rican woman. You like feisty women. I make it my business to correct everybody that mentions that to me.
Yeah.
Oh, you married a Puerto Rican? Oh, you like the feisty chicks. Like, no, the fuck I don't.
No.
Nobody do. First of all, if you met my wife, she don't talk. That's another thing, right? And she's chill.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, you know, and I tell her all the time, I'm like, yo, that spicy shit that your community embraces being sexy, that shit toxic.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying? Just like people like our community, when we say, oh, black women are loud, like that shit is toxic. Or the fact that, oh, I hit him and, you know, it's passion. Like, no, bro, that shit is toxic. No. And like you said, you got to get out of there, but you got to correct people. Like, somebody should stood up and said, yo, this is such a terrible story to even be repeating here. Like, yeah. Unless y'all want to correct and say, yo, you never go chase after somebody when they're trying to get away from you. You never get behind a fucking car. You never attempt to run somebody over because, yo, you run that man over, you break his leg, something happened, he don't want to be with you no more, and you got an attempted manslaughter charge, then what happens?
Yeah.
Like, everything is jacked up. But you sitting up here on stage, shucking and jiving, grinning.
And again, and I think that becomes, I think another good reason to give this video is the people that speak on behalf of the top third of black men are the middle and the bottom third of black men and black women. And when we speak out, it's like, oh, you're chauvinistic, right? Mm-hmm. That's old school. Things aren't that way anymore, right? And it's like, well, it's only not that way when it's something that you want. Right. When it's something that I want, it's like, oh, no, we don't do that anymore. We don't do that here, right? You know, can you cook something? We don't do that here. You cook yourself, right? But you know, when we go out for, you know, dinner, I can't slide you a check. Like, whoa, I thought you was a man.
Now you got to handle that.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, we can't have it both ways. We do need, as men, we do need to become more masculine. And what I mean by that is we have to make sure that we are extinguishing toxic behavior, right? Like, you know, we can't be in our 50s talking about getting into a fist fight. I tell y'all all the time, I'm in my 40s. Do not threaten me with any physical violence. Cause
I mean, that's what Mike Epps said.
I'm not. Well, Mike Epps said he's going to shoot you.
Well, he didn't say he was going to shoot you, but he was like, I ain't fighting. You know what we're going to do.
Yeah. I'm not fighting. I'm going to try to de-escalate it. And after that, I will just say, you know, I will feel like my life is threatened. So I'm going to feel like my life is threatened at that point. So, but it's like, yo, I want peace, man. I want all of us to have peace and have that masculine maturity of just saying, all right, how do I avoid this in the first place, right? Fact. Like, I'm not gonna antagonize you to get you to that point, right? Mike Epps antagonized Shannon. Shannon let it happen, and then Mike Epps took it up another level, right? Like somewhere in that level, we have to understand that, like, all right, I got to be more mature. Let me reach out. Hey man, I saw you said this, man. What's up with that?
What's up with the show? I get you doing a comedy thing.
Yeah, I get you doing a comedy show, man. But what's up with that, man? Like, yo, give me a different joke.
And you know why that bothered me? Because I think comedy, not to go back, but you know, everybody get it at a comedy show, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? These guys work on these shows to do a special. And it gets me to this question of, was you going to do that joke in your special? Because that's what, you go on these tours, one of these shows getting taped so you could just do a special.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, was you going to just air out Shannon like that?
You working material, you know? And it's like, yo, all right, yo, say my pants are tight, right? Say, you know, say my stomach is big, right? Say my head is bald, right? All right, do all those things, right? But, you know, let's not talk about things that are going to be on the internet forever that may or may not be true.
Yeah.
Or may or may not be things that I want to discuss yet, right?
Absolutely.
Don't do that to your brother.
Or don't do it to your dad, Logic. Logic, one of my favorite albums, not of all time, but if I had to do my top 200 albums, Logic's first album may be in there. Probably. When it first came out, I played it nonstop. For those who not know, Logic is a biracial rapper who gets to use all the benefits of black culture while looking like a white man.
Woo!
And I have to say it like that because Logic, I have to offer prayers to this man. Because him being biracial hurts him every freaking day. And from me talking to people that are biracial, especially, you know, one of my good friends, he's biracial, but if you see him, you would think he's a white man, right? And having these conversations with people, you do understand that there's this struggle of, yo, I'm not black enough, I'm not white enough. And I get that. I hear that, and I understand where they're coming from. But it seems like every day, instead of Logic saying, hey, here I am, he's like, let me prove to y'all that I am black. So Logic sat down with his dad and we were talking about, which this isn't the first time I've heard this. He talks about it on the album. This was part of Logic's first press run on his first album, about how he grew up with his white mother. And she used to call him and his siblings niggas all the time. Logic moms has 3 baby daddies, all black. And so all his brothers and sisters are biracial, but Logic has said plenty of times, like, yo, my mom used to call us niggas, and it used to hurt them because they didn't understand, because they grew up with a white woman calling them a nigga.
Yeah.
But even that, like, to me, Logic is a clown. Well, what you got to say about that? And I continue my Logic rant.
I mean, I don't dislike Logic. I think what I always hate when people have conversations with their fathers is they always go to what I didn't have when you weren't around, right? And they never go into how the hell did you and mom meet? What were y'all like as youngsters? Because I think that's more relatable, right? Like, and I get it, right? Nobody wants to know that, you know, their daddy was a hoe, their mama was a hoe, their daddy was no good, a villain.
Logic dad was a crackhead.
Yeah, right. No, you don't want to. But the thing is like, yo, if we have this conversation, now it's a conversation where we can try to prevent this behavior in the future, right? Because Logic and his dad are sitting down, and they're having the conversation. You could tell that they are estranged, but you can't look at his dad and tell the life that he's had. Right there, right? You can't really see it. You can see the hurt in Logic, right? So you know something happened, but it's just conjecture at this point. I wish we'd have better conversations with all of our parents, you know, and I get it, right? You want to see your parents as being parents, and big ups to the parents that do pull that curtain back, you know, just a little bit, right? Because you can't pull it back too much, because, you know, then you're gonna fuck your kids up. Yeah. But you do need to at least, you know, if we're gonna have these conversations, I think there's conversations to have, you know, with your parents. And what I saw with Logic was him still saying, like, yeah, these are the things I didn't have because she was around, and not, well, why weren't you around?
Well, he was on crack. I think Logic knows that.
Well, I mean, but okay. Well, what got you on crack? You don't just wake up and grab crack next to the eggs at the grocery store.
Well, fair. But according to them, this has nothing to do with logic.
Yeah.
Right? They used to say that, they thought crack was like weed. And it wasn't until years later they realized like, oh shit, this has lasting effects. Which is
that is insane.
Yeah,
that is insane.
When you hear old drug dealers and old junkies talk, they talk about, we thought crack was just like smoking marijuana. It wasn't. We didn't learn about the addiction of it till later. My thing about Logic is like, he's been bitching about his family dynamic forever. And it's like, when that didn't work. So, Logic's biggest issue when he first came out was his album was a direct mirror of Kendrick Lamar's album the year before. He worked with No ID. No ID works a lot with Kanye and Jay-Z, a lot with Jay-Z. So he had the best producer in the game. He came out with an album. It was like Kendrick did his album, YG copied it, and freaking Logic just was like copied it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like cool, but then it was just like, bro, you've been talking about this race thing and you aired all your family dirty laundry. I want you to hear something right quick, which I thought was just nasty work.
Okay, so it's going down.
Listen to this shit.
We talked about the fact that, if I help you, because I know you've talked shit about me. You've said, Dad, Bobby don't help nobody. You've said this. I'm not saying you're saying it right now.
No. I mean, the bottom line
you've said it.
It's been said by me before.
Exactly.
But the bottom line is, what I realize is that you don't owe me a motherfucking thing. You don't owe me nothing. And I had to come to the realization of that. I gave you your talent, but my talent was given to me by my father, which is given to you by your father.
They went on this long thing. Hold on, let me see.
We talked about
fucking long. They went on this whole rant about giving him money, right?
Yeah.
And Logic calls out his dad. He calling him a nigga. He cussing at him. When is the last time? How many times have you said the N-word around your parents or grandparents?
I mean, I will curse around my parents, but not to the extent that I curse even on the pod. Because my mom made a call on that. Like we first started, my mom was just like, y'all curse entirely too much.
Facts.
Right? So, there's a difference and a respect. But I grew up with both of my parents like my whole life. And you were taught to offer that difference. Because as a dad, my son does it sometimes, right? Like sometimes like he'll say something and I have to make sure he understands like, hey, you don't say that to me. Mm-hmm. Right?
Facts.
So I think you have to have a parent around to understand those dynamics.
This is that biracial shit that I just can't get past. Because growing up as a black boy, I've never used the N-word with anybody over the age of 50.
Yeah.
If you are there,
I think you're right. I don't see me using it.
I can never look at my grandma and say, "Yo, grandma, these niggas be doing such and such."
Yeah.
Because they went through a time where they couldn't go to school with certain people.
Yeah.
They went through a time in life where they was called a nigga for a certain reason. And it wasn't no embracing. You know what I'm saying? So Logic is getting his shit off with his dad. And it's like, damn, bro, like, I just pray for him because one day you're going to have to find yourself, bro, because if not, you're just going to spin out of control. Anyway, let's lighten this up before we hop up out of here. Sports segment. This is my favorite time of the day. Why? Because Mike gets to explain how the hell they lost the Super Bowl.
Got out coach, bro. That was a coaching clinic by Steve and Andy Reid, bro. I mean, Kyle, you can't defend it. You cannot defend not running the ball. And I get it, right? Kyle Shanahan did not trust anybody outside of his starters in that game. But once you lost Greenlaw and Burks came in, Steve Wilkes, it was something else that you needed to do with that defense. When you saw Christian McCaffrey was gassed in that game, you got to run Elijah Mitchell, and Elijah Mitchell came in and did well. So the fact that we did not keep running the ball down Kansas City throat, it's on the coaches, man. Like
y'all keep him?
Yeah, I mean you got to keep him. I mean, who else you gonna hire? I mean, he's bad at one thing, which is obviously big games. So he got to go see a sports psychiatrist and get through the yips on that shit. Like, this is the yips now. You got to go fix that shit, bro. Like, as a coach, I think he does well. We've gotten extremely lucky, with Lynch and Shanahan. Like, we've had picks. We've had picks like Debo, that was second round pick, Brandon Ayuk, which, nobody really understood at the time. That ended up working out. But Brandon Ayuk first year, he did not look good. Debo, nobody expected him to become the player that he became. George Kittle, nobody expected. So that's all luck. But then you have draft picks like Kinlaw that didn't work out after we traded away DeForest Buckner. Yeah, to Indianapolis. So it's like we've gotten lucky. Obviously Brock Purdy. We've gotten lucky because Trey Lance did not work out. Everybody got to get their shit together. We got to draft better, and we got to hire offensive coordinators or offensive minds that can, help us game plan in big games. We got to get better.
Big deal, no deal. Travis Kelce bumping into his coach.
Well, if that would have been a black guy bumping into his coach, what would have ESPN said on that?
Thug.
Yeah, it'll still be running. Yeah. So and again, which is why I shoot black men so much bail, because nobody else is going to do it. Travis Kelce came and put his hands on Andy Reid.
He bumped him.
Yeah, he put his hands on him. He put his hands on him.
Hands is a strong.
Yeah, dude. If that would have been Myles Garrett running up on the coach, right?
Yeah.
Everybody would have lost their shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's I love how it's passionate when it's not a black person. Then when a black person do it, it's like, oh my God, it's too much intensity here.
Well, and winning the Super Bowl helps.
Definitely winning the Super Bowl helps, but I don't think they would have said anything if they had lost.
Oh no,
they would have Dana Whited that shit.
Nah,
they would have Dana Whited it.
I think it would have been some smoke on if you would have lost. However, you won. Your girl there is big. And then, they did do the cleanup. Now, we can't take away them doing the cleanup, because they did the cleanup of, Andy Reid was off balance. Travis Kelce just bumped him a little bit, whatever. It is what it is. Prize Picks, I don't know what y'all doing. If y'all want to run an ad here, please let us know.
The only thing they're going to give us is $1 million to use on their website.
Absolutely. And they're going to tell us, you better pick these so y'all can win. I've never seen so many celebrities win from one app, and it was all $1 million. Like when Ruby Rose was like, I only need a half of a yard, and then I'm going to win $1 million. And then she got it. And it was just like, all right, sis. That threw me off.
They can't withdraw any of that money.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be all in promo.
It's all promo code.
Yeah. And then fucking Drewski doing the same thing. It's just super interesting to me. That was the same thing. Before I load up this last clip, what you got planned this weekend?
Nothing too much, man. It was this weekend was my son's birthday party, so we had his birthday party.
Okay,
that was a good time. Fellas came through.
There you go.
Saw the ex-in-laws. It's always a good time. Always a good time, man.
Always a good time.
Yeah, always a good time.
I got a comment, but it has nothing to do with your family. It got everything to do with mine. But
you gotta say that regardless.
Yeah. Well. But it do. But I mean, I think they still be listening sometimes.
Yeah.
Even though
happened in your dating experience to where you're now like,
It's a lot of pressure on black men, specifically dating black women. And I love black women. Social media and the culture has put a lot of pressure on us. This could be just based on environment. When I moved to Atlanta, women here are very entitled. And listen, I'm not blaming anybody, so I don't want this to turn into...
When you say entitled, though, what does entitled mean?
I'll say financially entitled. I feel extreme pressure. And I get hit on by white women. I get hit on by all kinds of women. But when I get hit on by black women, I immediately feel this entitlement of, I gotta pay for something.
Wow.
I gotta pay your rent. I gotta help you with your car note immediately within 2 weeks. Or I'm just saying what I've experienced. I'm not saying that's every woman. Nowadays, if I take somebody on a date,
$400
immediately, and I don't even drink. So if she drink, that's the couple hundred. If the hookah is 45, lamb chops is 50, dessert. So by the time
valet,
or valet, I was just getting ready to say valet. So we didn't spend $400 for me to see if you like me.
Say that again.
So it's like I'm spending. That's just the first date. You want to go out again? I done spent $1,000 on 3 dates just to see if you might call me back or maybe text me back. And then because you're a beautiful woman, if you don't like me, you can go get the next man to do the same thing.
He is not lying. First of all, I will say this before I let Mike go off. I don't know how y'all date in Atlanta. I see why so many of y'all are drug dealers down there. Because
scammers.
Because it's impossible today. I knew an escort down there who said she was going to turn her life around and become a scammer.
Just turn her life around?
Yeah. I was like, damn.
It's not really turning your life around. It's like a 10-degree turn. Still in the same direction. It's not 180 degrees.
Shout out to Atlanta escorts.
Yeah.
I was taking her pictures. Damn it.
Yeah, we might want to specify that.
Please.
Yeah, dude's a simp.
Really?
Yeah, he's a simp. He's a simp.
How?
And to any guy that's listening to that and you're like, yeah, man, that's true. Like, so the first, I'm gonna forgive you because when I first heard it, I hadn't had my coffee yet, and I was just like, yeah, dating is tough. And then I went back and listened to it after I had my coffee, and I was just like, oh shit, he's a simp. Like, because he's waiting on women to hit on him, right? Which means that he's dressing, he's looking good. He
didn't say that.
No, he did. He did. Go back and listen to it. He said when women hit on me.
When they hit on him.
When they hit on me.
He didn't say he was waiting though.
Yeah, he didn't. Well, he did not say he was waiting, but I'm gonna tell you how I figured out that he's waiting for women to hit on him, right? So, but this is the thing: if you're dating beautiful women and you're somewhere and those beautiful women are hitting on you, because he's saying there's beautiful women,
Mm-hmm.
they're doing this because you're making it obvious that you're worth getting to know, right? Most of the time because you got a table.
Chain,
section.
cubits.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So when you get hit on, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not just, if you didn't have any of that on, right? Like if you could just throw on a white t-shirt, pair of jeans, sit at the end of the bar and beautiful women hit on you, all right, you probably fine. Right? If you had a regular bar, right? Yes. Because if you had a high-end bar,
pause
right?
That,
Yeah, super pause. But like if you at the W though and you have a white t-shirt, she's gonna hit on you because she's like, yo, you're here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about like a regular bar. You're at fucking Applebee's.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, yo, yeah, you're attractive.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes on about getting hit on. Then he's like, all right, I spent $400 on the first date. All right,
that sounds fair.
Where are you going for $400 on the first date? You're not going to Outback. You're not going to Texas Roadhouse.
But it's Atlanta, and he said lamb chops. The lamb chops is $50. The hookah is $45.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? If you're already taking a girl out to a spot that has hookah and lamb chops, there's a section in the back. It's a VIP already there. It's a terrible date idea in the first place, which means that you're trying to impress an extremely beautiful woman. Then he's like, yo, I spent $1,000 hoping that you text me or call me back.
That's what bro lost me.
Like,
he lost me there. I stood with you, bro, until
and I was like, yo, like, so the first time I listened to it, I was like, I got it. But then when I really went and listened through it, like, bro, I'm not spending $1,000 hoping a woman calls me back, bro.
Yeah.
I already know she's calling me back. I already know she's texting me. Chances are, when I wake up in the morning, I already got a good morning text.
Or she right there.
Or she's right there, right? So it's like, yo, like, y'all guys really got to stop. You're not even tricking, right? Because a trick would understand, like, yo, I don't care if she calls me back or not.
Yeah.
When you're like, yo, I'm doing all this hoping that you like me, it is simping. And I know women like it because you're getting taken out. You don't have to commit.
The lamb chops.
He's like, what did he say? There's 5-6 other guys that she could call, right? So you're trying to spend money to keep her from hanging out with the other guy. Versus if you just trick, you wouldn't care. You'd be like, yo, whenever I need you, this is what I'm gonna do to get you. And then you can go back doing what you're doing.
You know, what's weird for me is like who are teaching our brothers this logic that it's okay. Because yo, you spending $400. I personally understand it going out in Atlanta how you could spend $400.
I get it.
I get it because it's Atlanta. And for those who do not know, because maybe you live in Nebraska, you live in Wisconsin, Atlanta is Sodom and Gomorrah. It is. It burns.
But if a woman, let's go back to the first part of the pod today, where she was like, yo, if you walk 22 times around the park, eventually she's gonna get thirsty. Mm-hmm. All right. If a woman walks with you in the park, and Atlanta has a really nice park to go walk in,
they do,
and you can go drop $60, $70 in that damn park.
Exactly.
So that's not even gonna be cheap.
Atlanta ain't cheap.
But here's the thing, right? If I tell a woman I want to meet her at what is that park name?
It's not Centennial.
Whatever it is,
Grand something. Go ahead.
Anyway, but it was like, yo, I want to go to the park, and let's just go out there and just walk around, sit next to the lake or whatever. If that woman is interested in you, she's gonna be absolutely right. But if you say that to a woman, she's like, oh, I don't want to go to the park. It's gonna be too hot. Okay, first off, she's not interested. If your first thought is, well, let me up the ante. Well, hey, let's go to BLT at the W then.
Nah, bro.
And I can get a room there because you're gonna spend $400 at the BLT at the W.
Facts.
Right. And it's like, and if she says, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Bruh, she ain't interested. And if you think that if I do this 2 or 3 times that'll make her interested, that is simping.
So the question is, I asked a dad segment today, you could sponsor this part of the pod. How do I know if a chick is interested in me? I'm taking her on a date. Like, what's some signs? Because because here's the thing. If I'm going out, if it's our first date, we have talked men and women. we have taught them both that, you do need to impress somebody on the first date. You need to make a good first impression. Excuse me. So I'm not going to fault the guy who says, I want to take you out to a nice restaurant because maybe I don't want to take you to Fridays. Maybe I don't want to go to the bar up the street, but maybe I'm saying, you know what? Maybe we go out to eat, or maybe we already did that, but this is like the first real date where it's like, let's go out to eat. So maybe I do take you to BOT. Now, you're going to spend $300 at BOT. Like that is not, in Charlotte, you're spending $3. So in Atlanta, you spending $5. I get that. I mean, but if you go to the hookah bar with a chick in Atlanta, you're going to spend $300.
Oh yeah, hookah $50 everywhere you go.
And the repack $45.
Exactly. So
you're going to spend it. But after that first date, how do I know she was interested in me? Or not, how do I know like this?
Dude, a woman is going to let you know if she's interested or not. Like, there's going to be sexual tension there. You ain't gonna have to ask for it. You're not. I promise you're not going to have to ask for it, bro. Like, she is going to be making innuendos, insinuations. Her talk's gonna be slick. Like, you're gonna be like, she trying to get me to ask for a nude. Like, she's going to put it out there that she's interested. Like, you're not gonna want if you're wondering if a woman is interested in you, bro.
She ain't interested.
She ain't interested.
There you go.
She ain't interested, bro. Like, it's a piece of cake. It's really simple. And here's the thing: I'm not telling you to not keep pushing because sometimes you can't. Sometimes she's not interested because there is competition. Mm-hmm. Right. And I think that's something that men have to be real comfortable with. Like, you want a beautiful woman, bro? Yeah, chances are somebody else wants her too.
Fact.
Right? And chances are he got there before you did.
Yeah.
So you're trying to take her from somebody. Like, even if she ain't in a relationship, you still trying to pry her attention away from that guy over to you, right? And here's the thing: if you do it with money, that's where you fuck up, right? Like, because then she's just there for the resources. So that means the next time somebody has more resources come along, then they gonna pry her attention away from you. So, so if you actually want her, you got to be able to pry her attention away without money.
My favorite Pusha T line is, never fall in love with a bitch that loves the camera. She'll fuck you and turn around and fuck the janitor. And that's such a real ass line.
Yeah, it's not absolutely wrong. It's not absolutely wrong, man. If the janitor's attractive and you just pissed her off.
Yeah, or if the janitor know how to make her look pretty, or make her feel pretty, she will.
Bro, like it's a tough game out here, man. Stop simping though. Stop simping. Like I said, when I first heard it, I was just like, oh man, I was like, I kind of feel for this brother.
I'm trying to think, where's me and Karina first date at? It was probably someone stupid.
Dude, if a woman likes you, bro, she don't care where she's going.
I think we went to Tilt.
Dude, they were like
no class.
How many times have a woman liked you and then you really don't have time for her because guess what? You really don't like her. And then eventually she'd be like, I can come over. And she'd be like, God.
Yeah.
Right? Like that happens. That's a woman that's interested, right? Like, yo, I can come over, right? Mm-hmm. If you got to be like, nah, let me take you out to somewhere. My man said, I spent $1,000 to see if she's going to text or call me back.
That's nasty.
I low key felt bad for bruh because I was just like,
where's your dad? Oh,
yeah. You know that's always the question. Like, bruh, like if you got money like that, bruh, like stop simping. There's women out here that are interested in you.
Or donate it to a kid going to a HBCU. That's my new thing now. Please give it to a HBCU, please. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Shout out to Jake. Jake know who he is. We all went out this past weekend to see if Jake gonna join our crew. Jake was a cool dude, man. I got so drunk on Friday that bro, I had 4 drinks. I had to go home.
That was
I don't know what happened, bro. I felt like a lightweight. Like, I mean, clearly I was. I don't know what happened, bro. I was just like, yo, I went home. I got on the couch. It hit me and I went to sleep. But you know what's funny was we went to a bar and I was like, yo, are we sure we're supposed to be here? Because last year in Charlotte, a dude took a shorty out on a date. And I'm only speculating what happened, but just know that her ex-boyfriend pulled up and killed both of them. And I was like,
what
yo,
the hell?
It's in South End at Vinyl, man. If you ever look it up, a dude took a chick out on a date and her man pulled up, or somebody who believed that was his girl, pulled up, shot them both, killed them. And I was like, yo, y'all know it ain't sweet down here. Yeah. But you know what? I told them, I said, that made me have a conversation with my boys. And I told my wife to have that conversation with her brother about like, yo, you need to be careful who you taking out. Because these chicks will lie to you, line your ass up, and put you in danger that you don't even know this.
Yeah, you don't know that you in.
Yeah. I was like, so, and I remember, you used to take these chicks out, but like, you got a man, they'd be like, I don't know. And it's like, when you're 21, it's cute. Now these little niggas want, they got switches. So Y'all be careful. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Y'all can have it. Y'all can have it.
Y'all can have it. And with that, we gonna holler at y'all next time.
Holler at your boy.